Chevra, here we go. We conclude another incredible week. V'siyata d'shmaya. 5 minutes of bitachon. Yesterday we learned a scary chapter. Chapter 9 over here, the Bais HaLevi explains to us that just because we try, we say, but if in reality, when it comes down to it, we don't have bitachon, we're lacking. There's no other way of saying it. We're lacking. And it's very difficult. And it's not something that should just be words and thought, but it has to be action. And he continues with an incredible story in the Bais HaLevi's own city. Rav David Sutton writes a beautiful story in the bottom over here that there was a wealthy man that the secretary got a telegram that the boat sunk, a boat that had a lot of the merchandise in it. The secretary didn't know what to do. How was he or she going to break the news to the boss that the boat sunk at sea? So what do you do when you have a question? Of course, you go to the Bais HaLevi. So we'll just call it she for simplistic purposes. She goes to the Bais HaLevi and she says, how could I break the news to the balabas that the boat sank? The Bais HaLevi says, I'll tell him, don't worry about it. And she says, oh, okay. And she hands over the telegram to the Bais HaLevi. And the Bais HaLevi tells her, tell the balabas, tell the wealthy man to come and see me. So the wealthy man comes in. The Bais HaLevi is sitting there, head engrossed in a Gemara. He looks up and the businessman says, why did the Rav call me? And the Bais HaLevi says, oh, such a shvera piece of Gemara. It's so difficult to understand. A Gemara in Brachais. The man says, what's Gemara? And the Bais HaLevi says, the Gemara says that Kashem Shemavarich HaKadosh Baruch Hu Al HaToiv. Just like we say thank you, Baruch Hashem, Baruch HaToiv HaMeitiv, on all the good things that happen. So too, Kach Yivarich Al Hara. We have to bless Hashem. Says the man, what's so difficult? We all know this. Hashem does all for the best. Even when it seems so difficult, we have to be grateful for everything we have. And we have to, Kishem. We bless Hashem for the good. We bless Hashem for the bad. And the Bais HaLevi says, beautiful. And then he hands the man the telegram. And the man who just finished professing how, of course, good and bad all comes from the same HaKadosh Baruch Hu, takes the letter, reads it, and proceeds to faint. To have bitachon in thought, in words, is very nice, but it has to be in action. And at this point, we're all pretty depressed because this is where we're all holding. So one more depressing story. And then Rav David Sutton ends with a bit of encouragement. A beautiful story. Yisrael Salanter. After Yisrael Salanter finishes talking about Amunah, bitachon, a man says, Rebbe, so you're saying I could quit my job, I'll go buy a lottery ticket, and everything will be good? Yisrael Salanter says, yeah. The man says, really? That's amazing. He goes to buy the lottery ticket. The day of the drawing, let's call it Tuesday, there's going to be a drawing for the lottery at 6 p.m. Tuesday morning, Rav Yisrael Salanter meets the guy. The guy is so excited. He listened to Rav Yisrael. He bought the lottery ticket for $1 million. He quit his job. Rav Yisrael says, you bought the lottery ticket? He said, yeah. Rav Yisrael says, can I buy it from you? The man says, what do you mean? Rav Yisrael says, I'll give you $500,000. The man says, you're going to give me $500,000? Sure, no problem. Says Rav Yisrael Salanter, if you really were Baiteach and Hashem, that you're going to get $1 million, what are you selling it to me for $500,000? Obviously, it wasn't real. So these are very difficult stories because this is how, unfortunately, this is where we're all holding. Yesterday we mentioned from the Rosh Hashiva Raiper, how he remarked about himself, how he lurked his whole life on bitachon, but then when it comes down to it, it's very difficult. So what's the Eitzah? So the Eitzah is Rav Ram Erlanger in his famous Sefer Birchas Avram quotes Yerushalmi. And the Yerushalmi says, Ashrei, praiseworthy is the man that bitachon never leaves your lips. Hashem Sivakos Ashrei Adam Bateach Bach. Question is, what do you mean bitachon never leaves your lips? So says the Birchas Avram, the Yerushalmi is teaching us where to start and how to train ourselves. And I'm sure everyone in their own lives, as we've been learning a few minutes of bitachon a day, already starts to see it. That of course we're light years away, and working on emunah bitachon is so difficult. However, every little bit, when you talk about bitachon, when you learn about bitachon, that is how we train ourselves. And Rav Shimon Schwab says, Baruch HaGever sheyiftach b'Hashem, v'haya Hashem mivtachoi. Blessed is the man, asher yiftach b'Hashem. And then what? Hashem will be his security. Explains Rav Shimon Schwab. What we have to do is we have to try. And no one should say, what do you mean? We're like that wealthy man. We're going to, God forbid, faint when we hear the bad news. We're like, the person that's sitting there shaking when they hear the doctor report. And what happened to our bitachon? No. Baruch HaGever Asher Yiftach B'Hashem. We have to talk about bitachon. We have to work on bitachon. We have to learn about bitachon. And then, V'haya Hashem Yiftachai B'siyata D'Shemaya, with the right focus, with the right goals, with working, with trying, with talking. B'siyata D'Shemaya, slowly we'll get there.